everybody. I hope you're able to come back. This is Dr. Gail and Allison, and we're going to be talking about light language or soul language. And we're going to start interviewing Allison first while everybody comes in the chat. And I hope you all come back. I saw you all there before. And so sorry, we have had so many technical issues. I don't have electricity right now. Allison was having trouble first. And then at time to go live, the electricity went off in my house, and that just kicked everything out. So Susie is in the background. As you all know, she has been helping us try to get it all together, and we have finally gotten it together. So
we're here.
The notifications going out for everybody to join us. So I'm going to start, Allison, while everybody's coming in, we're going to just talk about you.
Okay.
Your background. Let's just do the little chit chatty stuff, like where you're from and how your journey to where you are now.
I'm originally born and raised on the East Coast in the Philadelphia area. I have always been connected to the galactics and the elementals and to spirits. I've had a lot of really fun, quote unquote, imaginary friends. I've always spoken a different language, but I was unable to express my truth in English. There just wasn't enough words to get out what I wanted to get out. So lo and behold, I didn't know I was doing this my whole life, but I've been doing that my whole life. I've spent many, many years in the hospitality industry and also coaching and healing and doing all that. The Reiki's, the gateway drug of healing is where it's a good foundational place to start to find your own way. And now I live in Bloomington, Indiana, working on creating global sanctuaries to save the world.
Well, how did you get into the light language or identifying it as soul language? How did that all come about?
That is a great question. Thank you so much for asking. My husband is a beautiful teacher, and he's a rune walker, rune master. I call him the elemental alchemist because he makes tinctures and does all this, and he educates. And he was at a conference with a few friends he met, and through that, and then he connected through a group, a Facebook group page, and they were doing live healing. And I had mentioned to him that we had traveled from the Midwest to Philly, and we had this horrible headache. Myself and both of my children had a terrible migraine, and he signed us up for a healing and logged on. And that's where I saw my beautiful sister Tina Powell for the first time. And she was working with Deborah Clark, and they were doing Lamarian healing. They spoke their soul language, the dialect being Lamarian. It was incredibly healing, and I just really knew at that moment that is what I needed in my life to round out everything. And so I dove right in and got activated because I wanted to see what that was like. And then I realized after the fact that I'd always been speaking it, and from a very small age, my team had always called it speaking from the soul or the language of light. And so they called it light language. And I was like, oh, this is so great. It all works out. And there's a little difference in the dialects. One is where it comes from, but it doesn't really matter. It's what's for each individual to help them heal and connect with themselves, and everyone has their own personal, unique story. So that's what works for me.
Okay. Well, this is a super basic question.
I love it.
How did you know what was coming out of your mouth? Like when you started speaking it, did you like go, what was that? Or did you know what it was? Or how did that actually come about? That first day you started speaking?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's so many ways that the language of your soul can express itself. And for me, in the beginning, it was through coding, which is kind of doing where I'm seeing symbols and I'm drawing them in the air. Or I allow a guide or someone to step right in to help channel all of that, and then to speak through it. But really, it is connecting with different parts of myself, fractals of my soul, where I've lived different lives all over the place. And some of them, typically your soul language, your soul dialect is like really where your favorite life was, where you love so much experiencing that as a soul. And so it does sound different, and there's different dialects, and there are no rules, right? It's connecting really true to source. And so for me, the experience was just kind of a coming home. many people just kind of experience a shock or an instantaneous healing. Some people start painting and they've never been able to draw before. Some start writing music, having never picked up a guitar or a piano. They just know the
Mhm.
notes. So it's so different. It is different. Your life is never the same after that. It really allows you to stand in your authenticity and your truth and really express yourself. So it's fun for me.
Okay. So then how did you make the leap from that happening to helping other people?
Well, I was already a healer. I had been
Mhm.
studying Reiki and teaching that for a number of years. I had been coaching for a while too. So this has really helped bridge that gap. It was really something that helped me heal at a much deeper level, allowing me to connect more deeply and truly to what another soul is asking for.
Mhm.
So it really just kind of became soul Reiki. It turned into my own soul Reiki, which is, you know, as my friend says, it's kind of like Reiki on steroids, but it changes your life. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so then, okay, what would somebody come to you for saying, I want to be connected and I would like to figure out whatever this light language or soul language? What would make them make an appointment with you? And then you can say how they can make an appointment with you.
That is a great question. Thank you so much. The first thing is I always recommend going out into the world of the internet and searching around and researching
Mhm.
and coming with questions. If you just want to come, some people just jump right in. They say, I just want to get activated. I say,
Mhm.
great. You can schedule an appointment through my Calendly link or just going to sayunistay.com or lucidianlife.com, and both of the activation services there.
Say that real slowly so everybody can write it
Say
down.
Unisay, right? I always pick difficult words, right? Yes, Sokotarianasha. So say
Yeah,
Unisay is S
normally we
A
would have a
I.
banner. Yeah, normally we would have a banner, but we are handicapped today.
Yeah,
So
no, it's so fine. So say Unisay is actually written right in my with my name. So it's SAIUNASTE.com, and you can go right there and you can click through all the things. And you can find our services that way. It works with the collective. There's a group of us that work together pretty much on the regular. They're my brothers and sisters who are always in the background or helping out. We're always working together, doing magical things. And so I'm an activator. There's also a few others on that page who are also activators. So it doesn't just have to be me, which is so great. I always recommend people reading and learning about who connects with them, because it is really, sometimes it's really just about you finding your family, right? So
right, right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, all right, then listen, I'm looking down at my notes because I had some
I love
questions.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So, when somebody comes to get activated now, is that like a one-time thing or do they keep coming back? Like, does a little part get activated and then they come back and get another little part activated, or are they activated?
That's such a beautiful question. The activation itself is about an hour and a half typically. You really just have to say yes, and that's it. Every soul wants to express itself. That's why we come to Earth, to express ourselves in our truest form. And so once you say yes, that really happens. We connect. We do a lot of clearing. We tap into inner child, shadows, all kinds of good stuff. We spend a lot of time just kind of talking. It is getting to know each other because we are going to be connecting heart to heart. I will be opening mine up to yours. So it's really important to create that trust for the mind to make sure that it's ready, because the mind likes to run away from things that are unknown and scary. And once that trust has been established, we go through the activation and you feel it. You feel it in your heart. Not everyone speaks. Some people get up and dance. Some people just cry. Some people start drawing. Some people don't do anything. It's a feeling within you. It's a knowing that there's more to this world than before.
Okay, good.
So
So,
then once the activation's completed, then I always offer two sessions just to connect for half an hour, just to kind of work through it. And then we offer different types of things. I have friends who do group kind of mentorships with other people who are learning. We have a couple practice pages we go together, really helping people get into the community and connecting with their others, because typically there's that. Then I offer, private sessions as well. We do all kinds of healing circles. We try to make it really accessible for people to connect with the community. That's the best part.
okay. Well, okay. So somebody's wants to have a session with you, but they're a little on the fence because they don't really know what a session's going to look like. Can you kind of describe a little bit, like when they come to you or they start talking to
Absolutely.
you? Oh, thanks,
Yeah,
Susie. She's
that's
got
so
your
great.
website.
Yeah, thank you, Susie. You're so beautiful. So what happens is for the private activation session, you come in, and you can either, it can be in person or online. It doesn't matter, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then we sit and talk, and we kind of talk about what life is about and the direction and all of that, and if there's any things that we want to work on. Sometimes I'm called to, pull cards and have fun time like that, and just make it really relaxed. Sometimes we just talk. It's almost like kind of like a beginning of a counseling, coaching, therapy session where we really just get to know each other. Once that, explain to the brain what's going to happen. So we go into light trance meditation, and it'll all be in English to start to let the brain get settled into the body and to make sure that it's nice and relaxed. And then we go through, and usually what happens at that point, once I start speaking soul language, we've connected heart to heart. And so quite often people just start speaking right then and then. And if that's not the case, once we kind of do like a copycat. So I'll say something and then you'll say it back. And then I'll say something and you'll say that back. And what ends up happening is it almost sounds like gibberish in the beginning, because your brain is trying to say, I want to understand this. And really it's about being in your heart space and saying, I want to feel this. And when you allow yourself to really let go and to feel yourself, your heart space, and you just allow whatever comes out, then we start talking. And in the beginning, I really help just kind of translate the feeling of what it is. And it's really amazing. Most of the time people say, oh, I didn't expect it to sound like this. Oh, I sound so strange. Or, oh my gosh, this feels like home. Or, I know this is Octurian. I know this is from my home Polaris. I know this is, Alpha Centauri, Andromeda. Oh my gosh, I know this is a gnome. Like sometimes you just know, and sometimes you don't. And then so we go back and forth, and we'll go through different dialects that I use on pretty much on the regular basis, and connect in and tune in to what your dialects are, and then we just have fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Is there any information that I haven't covered that you would like to tell everybody?
We offer group activations too. That's more affordable, and there's a lot more people in there. So people who are very extroverted and want to have a lot of talking, that's a really great place to do. I hold that once a month on different times of day. So you can always check that out on the Stay to Stay page and our Facebook. We always have the event listed there.
Okay, so what is your Facebook page the same?
Yeah, Stay Unistay. You can just Stay Unistay is really that word is like a word. It's a combination of the masculine and feminine of pretty in Japanese, and then namaste. Oh, really? So it's to stay on it. So it's a play on the words. Yeah, trying to make it unique, so it makes it, once people hear it and they go, oh, I can find that again, it's a little easier for people to find. So it's hard at first, but then it gets to be really fun later. Yeah, and so we connect through there. And it is really it's just so much about connecting with yourself and saying yes to yourself, and being open into the world of everything and then some. So yeah.
Okay. So basically it just is, somebody would come to you and you're just opening them up to the possibilities, or opening up to what? Okay. Mm-hmm. So what would a person, well, I'm not exactly sure how to ask this question, because you've answered so many of the questions that I had, but what would be the reason that somebody would come to you? I mean, some people, for me, they're coming to me to their ET connections and things like that, or they're having some issues with some implants, or negative entities, those kind of things.
Yeah,
and
all of that. That's
okay,
such a great question. Yeah. So all of that. So working with the galactics through the soul language is a great way to connect directly to them. When you speak from your soul to another soul, they cannot lie. So you can ask in that, if you're concerned that you have an attachment or an implant, or perhaps your guides aren't you for your greatest and highest good, you can ask them in soul language, and they cannot lie. And that's the fun thing with English, because sometimes they can get around the words with English, because they can pretend to be something that they're not, which is really great. And so speaking through your soul language, that's why you want to get activated, because it really it kind of only allows for truth. So I use that for healing, and yeah, it is really great. And everybody can do this, which is so nice. So for me, I work with deep work, with shadow work, and we do I do collective work with tethering, and that's all about channeling your soul codes and your chakra system and realigning everything. And I mean, everything, negative attachments, egregores, anything galactic. I mean, exchanging your councils, galactic, elemental, the council of 12 elders, everybody, the whole party, right? Dealing with, dragons and fairies and everything. Cause we all have a part of this story, and we all matter. And so a lot of this is really just discovering how you fit into the symphony.
Right. Okay. Well, I've had a couple of questions that came into the community before we
Great.
went on. And so I'm going to read. First one was from White Dragon. And it says, I'm looking forward to this. I'm interested in light language, what it is and how it works, etc. Let's see what Allison says about it. As near as I can figure, it is a visual, pictorial form of communication with a minimal sound.
It can be, yes.
Component, not like linear language. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's the beauty. So it's how, the long and short of it is how we connect with each other. So there are many galactics who don't have mouths. I'm sure you've come across this.
Oh, yeah.
And so they speak telepathically. And while English is a human design language to keep us at a certain vibrational frequency, that's why swear words were conjured up through the collective, because we needed to be able to express that. So the F word is a soul word. It's a soul code, right? It's something that we can express with one word, with a few letters, and it means so many different things, right? That's soul language in and of itself, right? And so we're already using it, and we're always going to find a way to connect directly with what is true to us. So there are so many out there who actually their telepathic abilities have increased 100-fold, because that's how they are most comfortable communicating.
Right.
So yes, he is correct. Many people, some sing. Some of the frequencies, the angelic frequencies that come through, are very often just through song. And, that's just kind of how they are. It's the feeling of it, which is what matters. So some people do the coding and the drawing. So many different ways. That's a great question. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you. And here's the next question is from T-Barb. She says, I have a personal question. Last night I went outside and said, I'm ready. It's the first time I have felt ready to see a craft, an ET craft. After about 15 minutes, I saw something I've never seen before. It went across the sky right overhead as a meteor, didn't look like a meteor. And I've watched all my life with my kids. This had a soft light diffused with a bit of tail or trail, kind of like those icy comet pictures I've seen. It kind of appeared to displace space, not the pinpoint streak you see in a meteor. Can you ask your guys if this was my first craft, that it came to show itself when I said, I'm ready to see? Thank you. Well, of course, I immediately got an answer on that one. That's like, it's about time you asked, T-Barb. We've been around forever.
Yeah, it's the first time that they were able to, where you believe that you were seeing a craft, but they've been showing you many different crafts. It's just they are trying to figure out what your brain said. Oh, that's a craft, right? So that's kind of what they do. They go through the filing system, be like, okay, like we're showing them, okay, this is where they think this spaceship looks like, right? Because they can change whatever they want, right? Yeah, yes, a big yes. Not the first time, but the first time you got it.
Yeah, so it's great, T-Barb, that you said you're ready, and it is. You have to be ready to see it. So that's a lot of it. So T-Barb, yes, that was a spaceship, and they've been around, and they've been trying to get you to see them, and they're very proud of you at this moment. So
yeah, I'm hearing a lot that they're like, look for the clouds that don't belong.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. Since I've been to Mount Shasta, there's so many clouds that don't belong.
You can call them in. Just say, show me the clouds that don't belong, and they'll go, ooh, we'll be a cloud now, and they'll do it. It's really fun. Yeah, the Galactics are a good time.
When I was in South Carolina, I would see one about once every, say, 3 months, and here is every day. Every day there's a craft up there.
Yeah.
So
the Veil Center there. I love it.
Well, let me do. My chat has finally come up on my other phone, so let me say hi to some people. Hey, Sue Toffee. Hey, Butterfly Kisses Healing. How Alphanumeric 1. Hey, I just messed up there. Hey, Mims. T Barb, Chris MK, Gina. Oh, here's Susie. I'm so glad y'all came back. Spirit Watcher Suzanne, from Nerd One, Vivian. Oh, thank y'all for coming. And Gina M, I'm so sorry that we had some technical difficulties in the beginning. And we can, Sharon Sykes, thank you. And we're finally, Juno, I see you too. Hey, everybody. Now we're going to go to the chat box, but Susie probably is going to have to come up and filter these because I can't see the questions. I'm just seeing the names right now. So Susie, can you come on up and help us out on the questions that are coming in on the chat? Susie's going, I wasn't planning on coming up. Actually, Susie's the one that had to put it together. Oh,
that is so great.
She's not coming up. She's just going to put the questions up.
No, that's so perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Spirit Watcher Suzanne, is light language similar to those who speak in tongues? Oh, great question.
Yeah, I love that question. The short answer is yes. It's about connecting through. So, and you feel it. So it doesn't, it can sound like gibberish, right? And a lot of it is, especially in the religious sects, they use that as a direct connection because that's sometimes the only way the angels could speak, and they would step right through. And so there are different types of frequencies, and, they're all different levels and all different types of entities. And, the galactic show up in so many different ways. And so, yes, it is very similar.
Okay. All right. Susie, next question.
I love this.
Okay. Hey, Juno. Juno has her own YouTube channel also. And
amazing.
I wonder if some twins speak light language when they speak in their own unique language that others don't understand.
Most children are born being able to speak their soul's language. You hear it as gibberish because we're taught as adults it's not possible. So many of those who are on the spectrum, we work with a lot of children, teaching their parents how to communicate with them directly.
Mm-hmm. Another great question. Thanks, Juno.
Thanks, Juno. That is a great question.
All right, Susie. Next.
I know, I love it.
Thanks, Susie. All right, Chris MK, T Barb, lucky you. Keep asking, but nothing. Oh, you keep asking, Chris MK, but nothing. Other morning, I saw a cloud that looked exactly like a saucer with another cloud right on top that looked like a dome. Pendulum said no, but no other cloud. Oh, that was definitely one, Chris. I don't know why your pendulum said that. What do you think, Allison?
I mean, in this instance, I would trust what your yeses and nos are. So maybe perhaps it wasn't so much a galactic as maybe it's the cloud people trying to connect with you, like an elemental who's actually a spirit on Earth. So not so much a flying saucer, but still a spirit in that way. So yes, you did see something, but if you're asking if it was a galactic, then your pendulum's gonna say no, because it's a spirit from Earth. Because the elementals will do that. They'll shapeshift things and kind of have things look a certain way. It's quite possible you just might be really loved by the cloud people or the fae or dragons or something. So you might kind of be in that realm. Okay. And that's who wants to talk to you.
That was a great answer. Okay, Chris. All right, Juno. Do dogs and cats and other animals understand light language?
Yeah, I can only speak to my animals in soul language now. They won't respond to my English. They'll ignore me. Mm-hmm. And my kids too.
Go into the difference, like light language, soul language. Do we go into that? Why?
We did. It's most people it's synonymous. It doesn't matter. Right. Light language is really it's when it kind of comes more, it doesn't go as deep because you're channeling something else outside of you, which is so great, right? We channel, Paul Selig channels, Lee Harris channels Aziz, right? And so they're able to translate that directly into English, right? So they don't necessarily need the light language. So light language for many people who are really learning to connect deeply with their soul is a great transition. So it's kind of, I always kind of almost call it like soul language light. That's where where your ego is more involved, where your brain is kind of, they want to connect, want to know what kind of dialect it is, who it is, that kind of thing. Once you get to the soul language in that way, if you want to categorize it in that human form, it doesn't matter. It's just what is right, that is needed at that time. And you trust that's for your greatest and highest good.
Okay, good. Also, I want to tell everybody that my electricity is off. So when it comes back on, I have a feeling I'll be kicked off. So.
Oh, great. So we'll try to stay as intimate as possible, as long as possible.
So, anyway, just be prepared because we're still having glitches here. Okay. All right. Next, Sutafi, is light language universal?
Yes.
The same through all the dimensions? It is third dimension, 12th dimension. It's the same in all dimensions.
Yeah. It comes directly from source.
Okay. All right. Good question and a good answer.
I love that. It's a great question.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Got thinkers here.
White dragon. Anyone
Oh, yeah.
dragons?
We're actually right now we're working on, we've been working for a number of turns now, reactivating the dragon frequency on the planet.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So what will that do to reactivate that dragon frequency?
What it does is it allows the collective the ability to see the truth and stand in the truth and stand in their power.
Okay. Is that with everything or just with the dragons?
Well, every frequency wants to help, right? Everyone wants to place, but the dragons are really, I mean, that's true magic, right? That's why we're so obsessed with Game of Thrones and why so many people read D&D growing up. We have that in our cellular memory from other planets. There are other dragon planets, just like with the Phoenix and everything. You know, when a star dies, a new dimension is born, and there's a Phoenix and a dragon. You know, that's how it was told to me by my teachers. And so anything that is in our world is channeled as real. So Avalon's a planet, you guys. That's planet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's dragon and fairies and unicorns and alicorns, and Lemuria had them. And when you start to fall into yourself and you do your journeys and you start to see and meet other pieces of your lives of you're going to remember being in Lemuria and having your dragon and feeling the frequency of the planet. Yeah, definitely dragons. They're my favorite. They are really good at clearing and speaking a lot of truth that you don't want to hear. So they're fun.
Well, there you go, white dragon. You must be extremely special. Of course you are.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. This is Brenda Lee Lynch. My interest in light language causes me to think I am reaching for knowledge answers. Am I simply not ready for this growth and development? Well, you're asking that question, Brenda. Go ahead, Allison.
Yeah, I'm in alignment with that too. If you're asking, then yes. All you need to do is say yes and and surrender to the knowing that you are completely protected and loved, and that your team will take care of you. The galactics will take care of you. The elementals will take care of you, and you're here to learn your lessons. And as challenges and obstacles come up, that's what's so great about when your soul language is activated, you're connected to yourself so deeply that you're able to see outside of the storyline. You don't get caught up in the story. You're able to step out and say, what is my lesson here? So definitely, you're definitely ready. You said yes.
Yes. All right. Thanks. All right, Kristen K. All right. It sure looked exactly like one. Interesting and cool. Thank you. Anything I should have asked? What? That's a good question. Anything you should have asked? Is there anything you think she should ask, Allison? I was just saying, just connecting to them, see what information they're bringing to you.
I always say, and I learned this from one of my beautiful sisters, to ask, is there anything I need to know that I don't know that I need to ask?
Yeah, that's great.
And then that's a question, and they'll be able to give you the information.
Okay. And I kind of feel like she's really connected to what was there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Spirit Watcher Suzanne, what is chanting about that comes out of nowhere?
That's your soul language. That's your soul speaking its truth.
Okay. Thanks, Spirit Watcher Suzanne. We're just getting through these questions.
I love it. Ask away.
Okay. White Dragon. Light language is 5D, imaginistic. It does not seem to be a 4D, 3D, but must be translated. How do we do that?
Well, you're putting limitations on something that has no limitations. So you choose it. That's the thing. It's a knowing. It's kind of like, the sun is going to feel good on your face. It's a trusting of what comes through. Sometimes it's not for our brains to know. Sometimes it's just for our souls to know what it is, because our human brains aren't there to accept the truth yet, right? As Dolores Cannon, she calls it sometimes the Mr. Stupid, right? Where it's like the conscious brain just wants to be right and wants to be in control and all of that. When you speak your soul language, it bypasses that. It puts your brain into the gamma state. So there's no issue. Your brain doesn't have a chance to interpret it how it feels like it should be. The message is received. And then there are translators out there. There are many in Japan who specialize in that, and they actually, White Dragon, you would love this. They go to a dragon cave with a dragon master who activates them specifically to be a translator, and not everybody does it. A lot of things spark out of Japan for this reason, because kanji and their language is so close to the original languages that came to the planet, original starseeds languages, the ancient ones, right? And so because of that reason, it's much easier for them, as opposed in the Western culture, we're so disconnected from everything, right? The indigenous people, many of them, Hopi is a great example that comes up very often in the flow of the soul language. So yeah, it can definitely be translated. You just know it after a while. Sometimes you don't need to know. It doesn't matter.
All right. Great question, White Dragon. All right. Let's see. This is Mims. Tell me what I need to know. There we go. There you go, Mims. What do I need to know? Okay, Allison, what does she need to know?
Yeah. What they're saying is you already know what you need to know, but what it's translated as continue to say yes and to trust yourself and to believe what you know is truth. You have doubts, don't have them. That's what one of your guides said. Don't quit doubting.
Well, there you go, Mims. Quit doubting. That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions? All right. Oh, White Dragon. At the starship Athena, it is what they use also at the council. It seems that we can translate. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That it's a universal thing. So we don't need to. Our conscious mind constructs English for us to understand as a human being fractal part of us, right? Soul language, or also known as light language in some parts, we just speak to each other, and you can all talk at the same time. It doesn't matter. So a lot of times you'll find in the healing circles with those that speak the language of their soul, the language of their light, they can all talk at the same time, because it's not the mind that needs to understand it, it's the soul that needs to understand it. But yeah, you can translate it if you needed it to be, or you could just ask for them. I mean, if they're the right council members, they'll just transfer it to you. They'll just translate it to you in English directly. You'll just know it. Right. You can just have them download them.
White Dragon works on the spaceship Athena, and so do I. So that's why he's asking about that specific spaceship.
Yes, kotorashi ni ki atoro horeana pataka rasu ena iki ashatora asini iki atoro horonaki ti ashkuturianana. That's his answer. Direct.
Are you going to translate it for him? Does he know what the answer is?
He knows it.
Okay.
That's part of his work.
Okay. All right. Next, Vivian. Hey, Vivian. Please tell me what I need to know now. Thank you.
Shinakosorra akiniaso. Masakataria nahara. Tuski inia shotos aras is yanasor orsisi. How? To allow your heart to open fully. Nasukota ashini kiasoroya. To know you are not alone. We are always by your side. Yakatara anashatukuro inia tusuru uro anahana aha. Oh, the knowledge lies within you. But be more specific. Yasokotora anashataraki. To give your brain something to do, start with automatic writing.
Oh, there you go, Vivian. Automatic writing. I don't know if you have been doing that or tried it. Let us know.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's got wisdom to bring to the world.
All right. Is there any more questions? Okay, T-Barb. I think you said speaking in tongues is the same as light language. Back in my youth, I tarried for the Holy Spirit. I think that's tarried, which after it happens, you speak it. It never came. Why?
Because you already know who the Holy Spirit is within you. You don't need to speak that.
Well, there you go, T-Barb. You just got let off the hook there.
Yeah, so that's what they do. So in the churches like that, it's their way of controlling. And so it's keeping it outside of you. They can't, everyone can do this. Everyone has it within them, including the Holy Spirit, and that's within you. And so what happens is that many times people are so worried of not belonging or being rejected that that's where the gibberish comes through, and it becomes ineffective because it's not their truth. But you didn't speak it with your mouth. You spoke it with your heart, T-Barb. You were heard. The angels heard you.
Good. T-Barb. So must make you feel a lot better. So, okay.
Yeah, you were heard.
And this is Carrie. I wonder why it sounds so much like the Asian languages. I also often hear LL that has a Native American sound.
Yeah. Yes, that happens quite often. You're very connected to the ancient languages, right? The ancient ones, these are the ones who came to Earth to help perpetuate the language, right? And so when you have that or the it is going to have those flavors of those cultures because they didn't change very much of it.
That's
you could
great.
call them like a pure language almost in that way. It's closest to the soul language.
So do the Native Americans, when they're doing their chanting, is that their is their what language?
Yeah,
okay.
they're speaking directly to the galactics and everything because they've never disconnected from everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to be out there dancing with them and chanting.
Yeah. Yeah, we should, because that's what's gotten away. That's why the Sundance is so important, right? The Sundance is what we do to celebrate the star seeds and the star people, right? And so many, because we've murdered so many of the tribes, we are losing that. So that's kind of our responsibility as the humans to come through and help bring that back, help bring that ceremony, that ritual, that celebration, because they did come here and they are here, right? Constantly helping us and guiding us. So it's such the beautiful way to stay in gratitude.
Okay. All right. All right, Juno, may I ask what I need to know? Thank you.
What you are looking for lies in Argentina. You could find it in a book. You don't necessarily need to go there. Magic is real.
Oh, that's good to know. There you go, Juno. That's a great message for you.
Yeah.
Okay, pick one. What do I need to know? Please and thank you. You're going to be messages for all of them.
Okay. Alphanumeric 1, I'm going to speak to you directly, soul to soul. So I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to drop into your heart space, and I want you to really bring in memories of joy and gratitude and happiness. Okay. Good. Okay, allow yourself to open up. So you're going to be feeling this with your heart, and also listening with your ears. So let your ears and your mind just release them and let them do whatever they do. And they're saying, okay, but what I want your mind's eye to focus on is in your heart space. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Arakiki akatara makatara ishkatara ikini kata ikini matara kiti kiti nakatara rakiki ishini kata ikisi bakra iksi kotoro makatara kiti na harasi ura ini kiti atari kana arasi kotoro ini si katara anamara ikini asatoro ya okay ana ya sara okay yep yep akara kiti kiti kana kiti 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 kata arakira ura kiti 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 ura ana kiti 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 ura kiti kiti askara ban kiti askri si di nakatara kiti na iya toro ya katara ya na kiti kiti uskri miska arusi ya aras Nuskini shekadoro anahishiti iki mokotaraya nahishitoro yakuro urakini ashatara asati ini asut us anamak is arihishina harahuni maha. They said that should keep you busy for a little bit.
All right, there you go, everyone. You can be busy.
You're gonna be busy.
Okay, next. All right, Sitofi, please an explanation about our fractal beings. Just heard that term yesterday.
Yeah. So when we all started as one, right? And then there was the word, the Big Bang, whatever it is. And as it happened, we started to expand out. And as we go through the cosmos, we become smaller pieces of each other, of the same, right? And so one becomes like the sound of magic in that way. And so sound of magic then fractals out and becomes Merlin, becomes Inanna, becomes Kali, becomes, oh my gosh, anything magical, right? A dragon. So, and that fractal being is the personalized singular experience. And so what happens is we're on this beautiful third density, right? This allows us to play in such a real simulation, a real world, because we've got time involved. So it allows us to go in and out and change and learn so deeply. And it's very individualized. So when we come here as a light being, quite often we don't necessarily go in every life, but we'll go to the Akashic records and read other lives, other fractal lives. So it's like reading stories, and they become your life too. And it allows each piece of us to kind of remember that we all are one and we all are love. So it's, you know, like a kaleidoscope. Each kaleidoscope has its own little frame, right? But when they're all together, they create a picture. I hope that helps.
Great. All right, Spirit Watcher Suzanne, may I ask what I need to know? Everybody wants to know what they need to know. It's good questions from everybody. That's great.
You need to trust yourself more in what you're hearing and what you know to be true, and need to speak that truth. Oh. Yeah, call in Metatron. Metatron wants to work with you.
Well, there you go, Spirit Watcher saying Metatron wants to work with you. Well, aren't you special? That's great. Yay. Okay, next. Okay, Gina M., may I ask what I need to do to progress spiritually to connect? Thank you. Good, great question.
That is a great question. Breath work. So breathing. You may want to look into, on your physical level, you may look into cryofascial massage, or even just fascial massage. Oh my God, what is that called? Where they do the massage for the entire body, but focus on the fascial tissue. For life of me, I can't remember. Rolfing. That for your body. Breath work. Swimming, I'm hearing too. Swimming or rowing. Something to do with the water in that way. And definitely deepening your healing. So either deepening Reiki, activating your soul language is a great thing. All of those things. It's really a wholeness of taking care of yourself completely.
Yes. We all should have that lesson, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Taking care of ourselves as a whole. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question. All right, Carmela, may I ask what I need to know? There you go.
Sono orkiniatos Oriana. Makotarayana. Oh boy. Akarayinisha. So do things go missing with you, Carmela? Do things just disappear? Niesukutariana. Yeah.
Carmela says yes.
Yeah. That's the Fae. Specifically, the dryads of the trees around you. So they want you to feed the birds in your area. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be okay. I'm sorry in advance for this, but you're gonna be randomly visited by one drunk fat fruit fly. That's me checking in, because the Fae have taken to you. So now you're on the list. So if you just see a random fruit fly, that's just me checking in. So just say hello and let me know how you're doing. Feed the birds, speak to the trees. Yeah, the elementals want to work with you big time.
Yeah, that's good. There you go, Carmela. All right. All right. There's Terry Reiner at Holding Your Space. Hey, Terry. Would love a message from Buffalo Man.
It's time for you to research and know the Sophia dragons.
Time to research on what?
And know the Sophia dragons.
Oh, okay. There you go, Terry. All right. Butterfly Kisses. What information can they tell me that would help me most of my highest good moving forward? Oh, okay. For your highest good.
Treat yourself the way you treat others. You bestow so much love on others. Put that exact amount on yourself. I know it sounds ridiculous, but do it.
There you go, Butterfly Kisses. Start loving yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Carrie, I would also appreciate a message. What do I need to know?
Anahora shakus uyanati. Okay. They're saying for you to research the Essenes.
To research the what?
Essenes. A good place to start is Dolores Cannon with Jesus and the Essenes, and then move to Joanna Prentice and William Stewart, the Children of Light, the Essenes, Children of Light. That's where you should go.
Okay. Hope you got that, Carrie. That's great. All right. Terry, I would love to receive a message.
You should get activated. You should have your soul energy activated. It will take the healing that you do. This is the crust of what is deep within you that you can bring out through that way. Miracles.
What's funny is I got the exact same message that she needs to be activated.
Yeah, she needs to be activated without question. Should you choose? Okay. This is always choice, guys, and you don't have to do it. But it's like a good shortcut. It'll be tough because you get a lot of shadow work out of the way really fast, but it'll be worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Seascape, any messages for me?
Animal Reiki.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you're really loved by animals. Yeah. Animal Reiki.
Okay.
If you don't do that already.
Do you already do that, Seascape? Do you do Animal Reiki?
Oh, she can talk to them.
I'm waiting to see if she comments back. All right, we'll just go on to the next one. She'll comment.
Okay, cool.
All right, Gino. Argentina is named after the word for silver. I wonder if that is a clue. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go, Gino. All right, next. All right, Kimberly, I started writing in the air with my right hand after watching Allison talking with Ann the other day. Can you tell me what's happening? What do I need to know?
Your that part of you is reawakening. it's your coder. You can do coding. Well, everyone can do it, but really you're very astute at it. I would say so far as probably one of the master coders in the tribe. Directly speaking to, I would look into Akashic record work.
Oh, well, there you go, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next. T-Barb, are there any messages for me to improve my healing ability?
Activate your soul language.
What'd you say?
Activate your soul language. It'll take you to a whole another world.
Okay, there you go, T-Barb.
Because then you open yourself up to source directly. It's beautiful. All the way.
All right, Flowing. Hi, what do I need to know about my life? Thank you.
Trust your gut. You are correct.
Let's see, I'm looking at Seascape. She says, I'm healing hands vibration on my dog and people.
Yeah, she should definitely focus on the animals.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
All right. Now, Starfish, may I have a message from my ET family and guides?
They're saying they like to be called galactics and not ET. They come from the closest one to you. Are you a healer? Because the ones that are coming through are these little, they look like blue Jello mold turned upside down, kind of like in a ghost. You know, like the classic ghost, the drape of the ghost. They like to be called that, and they come from a sacred water planet with the dolphins.
Yeah, she's saying she was a healer, I think.
Yeah, they want you to call them in.
Okay.
Call in all water families. Look at Mintaka, Merope, the divine M's.
There you go, Starfish. All right, Jennifer, if there's time, I would love a message. Thank you.
So I'm hearing when you sleep, you go to the council. Which council? The Council of Elders on Saturn. And when you report to them, I think sometimes you wake up like really like frustrated and you don't know why. It's because they're not listening to what you're saying. So just keep doing that. So it's really important before bedtime to really call back in all your energy, really set light a candle and do some kind of gratitude for the day, calling in your guides to accompany with you, your gatekeeper to come with you when you travel, because they're not hearing the message and it's very frustrating for you. And they need to hear that. They need to hear that message. It's very important.
Okay, there you go. This will be our last question. Also at the ship, they use pictorial symptoms of light language. They seldom speak. Do you use that mode?
Yeah, that's coding. Yeah, it's like hieroglyphs, right? In that sense, or in that way, it's the universal. It's like kanji, right? It's a symbol. It uses an ancient Egypt in that way, right? All the languages come from Babylon, right? All the star seeds met at Babylon and said, "Hey, we're going to do this thing." And so, yeah, they don't. There's just you can translate so much more to a person telepathically and through symbols than you can through words. Mm-hmm. But the emotion is not as powerful.
Right. I agree. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the great questions. Thank you, Allison. This was all for entertainment purposes only. Thanks, Susie, for reminding me, as you always do.
Yeah, I
And
don't want to get sued, you
anyway,
guys.
yes. All right. Thank you. All our hurdles and all. We finally got it together.
I
Thanks,
know we did
everybody.
it. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much for having me, beautiful queen.
All right. Bye bye. Susie, you can go ahead and end the live.